My dear student, welcome to my YouTube channel Logic Tutorial. In this video, we would talk about the first chapter of your syllabus. Before we discuss about the theory of inference, let us discuss the entire syllabus of plus 2 second year logic. Now we would understand the unit wise breakdown. So units, there are 5 units as of now. These 5 units that are there. So first unit is your theory of inference. This section covers classification of inference, conversion, oversion, and categorical syllogism. This section covers structures, figures, modes, rule of syllogism, determination of valid mode. The second unit is your special rules of figure, Aristotle dictum, direct and indirect reduction, mixed syllogism, different forms, hypothetical categorical, alternative categorical, disjunctive categorical, dilemma, forms, refutation, rebuttal of dilemma. The third unit is your fallacy. This section covers deductive fallacy, semi-logical fallacy, inductive fallacy, fallacy of illicit generalization, false analogy, and ignoratio elenchi. This section also covers propositional logic. This In this section, we would discuss symbolic logic and its characteristic, propositional variable, logical constant, propositional connectives, truth function, construction of truth tables, testing validity by direct truth table method. The fourth unit is your method of experimental inquiry, Mills 5 experimental method, and scientific explanation. This section covers nature of scientific explanation. The fifth unit is your Nyaya theory of knowledge. This section covers perception and inference, Vyapti and its ascertainments. This section also covers doctrine of karmas, Niskama karma of Bhagavad Gita, Gandhian concept of non-violence. Now let us come to the topic theory of inference. Before I start the theory of inference, let us discuss about what is inference. Inference is a sequence of proposition where one of the proposition is identified as the conclusion and the rest of the proposition are called premise, such that premise justified or support the truth of the conclusion. Inference is also known as anumana. Anumana is the combination of two words, anu and mana. Anu means before and mana means knowledge. So anumana literally means before knowledge. When an inference is expressed in language, it is called an argument. In general, logicians use these two concepts interchangeably. Still, some textbook writers of logic make a distinction between inference and argument by holding that the inference is a mental process and is only for oneself, while an argument is a verbalized inference. So, now we would discuss about the kinds of inference. Inference, according to relationship, inference is classified into two types, namely inductive and deductive inference. An inductive inference is a kind of inference where the conclusion is not conclusively justified by the premise. Its aim is to make a generalization on the basis of uncontradicted experience of observation of finite number of cases. The set of premises of any inductive inference must be finite and are based on uncontradicted experience. Here the conclusion is just the generation of such uncontradicted experience, and this is always probably true. For example, Ram is mortal, Hari is mortal, Sam is mortal, Jadu is mortal, Gopal is mortal, therefore all men are mortal. On the other hand, deductive inference is a kind of inference where the truth of the premises conclusively support or justify the truth of the conclusion. Deductive arguments are primarily divided into two types depending upon the number of premises the argument contains. These arguments are either immediate or mediate. Basically, deductive arguments are divided into two types, immediate and mediate inference. An immediate inference is a type of deductive inference in which the conclusion is derived from exactly one premise. This type of inference is also called immediate because there is no other premise existing between the initial premise and the conclusion. Or it can be described as an inference where the conclusion is obtained without the use of middle term. For example, all men are mortal. The premise is all men are mortal. Therefore, some mortals are man is the conclusion. So, as you know, deductive arguments are divided into two types. The first one is immediate inference and the second one is mediate inference. Immediate inference are mainly of three types: conversion, aversion, and the third one is contraposition. On the other hand, a deductive inference is called mediate if the conclusion is obtained or derived by use of more than one premise. It is of two types. First one is syllogistic and the second one is non-syllogistic. An inference is called syllogistic if and only if the conclusion is derived from two premises taken jointly. In this case, the number of premises are exactly two and it is essential to use both the premises to obtain the conclusion. For example, all men are mortal. Ram is a man. Therefore, Ram is mortal. Here, the conclusion cannot be derived if we do not jointly consider these two premises. Immediate deductive inference is called non-syllogistic if the conclusion is derived from more than two premises. In this case, we do not have the restriction to use all the premises jointly to derive the conclusion, unlike syllogistic inference. Again, syllogistic inference are two types, namely pure and mixed syllogism. If all the propositions including the premise and the conclusion are of one type, then it is known as pure syllogism. And on the other hand, if it contains different kind of proposition, then it is called mixed syllogism. Pure syllogism again divided into two types, namely categorical pure syllogism and the second one is hypothetical pure syllogism. If all the propositions in a syllogism are categorical, it is called categorical syllogism. On the other hand, if all the propositions in a syllogism are hypothetical proposition, then we call pure hypothetical or hypothetical syllogism. Then the mixed syllogism are of four types: hypothetical categorical, second one is disjunctive categorical, third one is alternative categorical, and the fourth one is dilemma. Then what is hypothetical categorical syllogism? Hypothetical categorical syllogism is a kind of syllogism where the major premise is hypothetical, the minor premise is categorical, and the conclusion is categorical. That is known as hypothetical categorical syllogism. And a disjunctive categorical syllogism is a kind of mixed syllogism where the major premise is disjunctive and the minor premise is categorical and the conclusion is also categorical. That is known as disjunctive categorical syllogism. So also in alternative categorical syllogism, the major premise is alternative and minor premise is categorical, and the conclusion is categorical proposition. Similarly, in dilemma is a kind of syllogism consisting of compound hypothetical proposition as its major premise, and its minor premise is disjunctive proposition leading to a categorical or disjunctive proposition as its conclusion. For convenience, please follow the table. Hope the table will be helpful for you. Each of these will be discussed in details in the upcoming videos. For that, please stay tuned to the channel and subscribe it for more videos, and please share the channel to your friends. So now let us come to the topic immediate inference. As we know, immediate inference is divided into three types: conversion, the second one is oversion, and the third one is contraposition. So what is conversion? Conversion is a kind of immediate inference. It has one premise and one conclusion. The premise of conversion is called convertent and the conclusion is called converse. Or we may say that conversion is applied or the proposition is to be converted is called convertent and the result of the conclusion is called converse. It is a kind of inference in which the subject and predicate terms of the convertent are interchanged. The quality of the converse is same as that of the convertent, and also it satisfies the principle of distribution. So, what is the principle of distribution? The principle of distribution, no term is distributed in the converse unless it is distributed in the convertent. So there are some general rule for conversion. First one is the subject and the predicate term of the convertent interchange their position in the converse. It means the subject term of the convertent becomes the predicate of the converse, and the predicate term of the convertent becomes the subject of the converse. The second rule is the quality of the converse is the same as that of the quality of the convertent. It means the quality remains same. There is no change in quality. In other words, if the convertent is affirmative, then the converse is affirmative, and if the convertent is negative, then the converse is also negative. The third rule is the quantity of the converse will be determined according to the principle of distribution. The principle of distribution is no term is distributed in the converse if it is not distributed in the convertent. Thus, to find the converse of any given convertent, we must follow the general rule of conversion as we discuss. For that, we have to find some answer of the question like what should be the subject of the converse, what should be the predicate of the converse, what should be the quality of the converse, and what should be the quantity of the converse. Since we have four types of proposition A, E, I and O. So let us check to find out the converse of these four types of proposition. As per the above rules, we know that only I proposition can be the converse of an A proposition. So here we conclude that conversion of an A proposition is an I proposition. Conversion of an E proposition is an E proposition. Conversion of an I proposition is I proposition, and the conversion of O proposition is not possible. Hope this video will be helpful for you. Please stay tuned to the channel for more video and kindly subscribe the channel for upcoming videos. Thank you for watching my videos. Thanks a lot.